Keanu Reeves strode through the bustling airport terminal, his thoughts fixed on the film set awaiting him. The hum of hurried travelers and the rolling of luggage filled the air. But amidst the chaos, a small figure caught his attention. A young girl stood alone, clutching a worn teddy bear, her wide, fearful eyes scanning the crowd. Keanu paused, his heart tugging at the sight. The girl's tangled hair and scruffy clothes hinted at hours of distress. People passed by without a glance, too absorbed in their own lives to notice her silent plea for help. Kneeling, Keanu met her gaze and spoke gently. "Hey there, are you okay?" Her lips trembled, and she whispered, "I can't find my mom." Keanu's chest tightened. The vulnerability in her voice was undeniable. He glanced around, searching for a frantic parent, but saw none. "Don't worry," he assured her, standing tall. "We'll find her." The woman's confident demeanor clashed with the girl's fearful expression. She reached for the child, her smile tight. "I've been looking everywhere for her," she insisted. Keanu studied her closely. "Are you sure you're her guardian?" he asked, his voice calm but probing. The girl flinched as the woman's grip tightened on her arm. "Yes," the woman replied firmly, though her tone wavered slightly. "There's no need to involve anyone else, I'll take care of her." But the girl's trembling told a different story. Keanu knelt down again, looking into her eyes. "Is she your guardian?" he asked softly. The girl's lips quivered and she glanced away, clutching her teddy bear tighter. That moment confirmed it. Something was wrong. Keanu turned to the woman. "We should get help from security," he suggested. "There's no need for that," the woman snapped, her voice rising. Her confidence began to crack as Keanu stood his ground. Just then, a security guard approached, drawn by the commotion. "Everything okay here?" he asked, his gaze flicking between Keanu, the woman, and the girl. Keanu nodded toward the girl. "She's lost, and this woman says she's her guardian, but—" He hesitated. "I'm not convinced." Taking her hand, he led her toward the information desk, but a sharp voice halted them. "She's fine," said a woman in a business suit, stepping forward. "I'm her guardian." Keanu's instincts flared. Something didn't feel right. The security guard's presence unsettled the woman. She squared her shoulders, her voice sharp. "I told you, I'm her guardian. Let's not make a scene." The guard raised a brow. "Let's verify that. Miss, do you have any ID?" The woman hesitated, her hand trembling slightly. I don't have it on me. It's in my luggage," she stammered. Keanu watched her closely, his instincts screaming that her story didn't add up. The girl's wide eyes darted to Keanu, silently pleading. Her fear was unmistakable. "Let's head to the security office to sort this out," the guard said firmly. The woman's calm facade crumbled further. "There's no need for that," she snapped, her voice now defensive. Keanu knelt beside the girl, his tone gentle. "What's your name, sweetheart?" "Mia," she whispered. "I don't know her. I lost my mom." The woman's eyes widened and her hand tightened on Mia's arm. "She's confused," she said quickly. "She's just scared." The guard motioned for backup, and the tension thickened. Keanu stood protectively beside Mia, determined to uncover the truth. "She's not who she says she is," he thought grimly. Backup arrived moments later. 2 officers approached, assessing the situation. The woman's confidence was nearly gone, her composure replaced with unease. One officer spoke. "We've received a report of a missing child. Is this the girl?" The woman hesitated, then nodded quickly. "Yes, she's with me. I'm her guardian." The second officer addressed Mia gently. "Sweetheart, can you tell us what happened?" Mia clung to her teddy bear, her voice barely audible. "I got lost. I can't find my mom." Keanu's jaw tightened as the officer's gaze shifted to the woman. "Can you prove you're her guardian?" The woman faltered, her eyes darting around. I've already explained. She's just confused." Keanu stepped forward, his voice steady but firm. "Something doesn't feel right. This girl is terrified, and it's not just because she's lost." The officers exchanged glances, their suspicion mounting. The woman's excuses became increasingly erratic, her words no longer aligning. "Ma'am, we need you to step aside and answer some questions," one officer said, his tone firm. Panic flickered in her eyes. She clutched Mia tighter, her grip now desperate. "You don't understand," she hissed. "She's mine. The officers flanked the woman, their presence firm but non-threatening. "Let go of the child," one of them said, his voice steady. The woman hesitated, her grip on Mia tightening. "I have to take her," she said, her voice cracking. "She's mine to protect." Keanu stepped closer, his protective instincts surging. "Protect her from what?" he asked, his tone calm but insistent. The woman's gaze darted between the officers, Keanu and Mia. Her composure was gone, replaced by visible panic. She took a shaky breath. "You wouldn't understand," she murmured. The officers exchanged a look. "Ma'am, we need to verify your claim. If there's nothing to hide, this won't take long," one said, gesturing toward a quieter area. Mia whimpered, her wide eyes meeting Keanu's. He knelt beside her again. "You're safe now," he said softly, his voice a soothing balm to her fear. The woman finally released Mia's arm, but her reluctance was clear. One officer gently guided Mia away while the other stayed with the woman. Keanu watched as Mia clung to her teddy bear, her small frame trembling. The pieces didn't add up, but one thing was clear: this wasn't over yet. As the tension lingered, hurried footsteps echoed through the terminal. A frantic woman appeared, her eyes wild with panic. "Mia!" she cried, spotting the girl. Mia froze for a moment, then her face crumpled as fresh tears spilled down her cheeks. "Mom!" she sobbed, running into the woman's arms. The officers watched the emotional reunion, their suspicions about the suited woman solidifying. "Ma'am," one said to Mia's mother, "we need to confirm some details. Can you show identification?" Mia's mother quickly pulled out her ID and a recent photo of her daughter, proving her identity. The officer nodded, his expression softening. Meanwhile, the woman in the suit grew increasingly agitated. "This is a mistake," she protested. "You don't know what's really going on." Keanu stood silently, observing the woman's unraveling demeanor. Whatever her motives were, they were far from innocent. Mia's mother hugged her daughter tightly, whispering apologies. "I'll never let you out of my sight again," she promised, tears streaming down her face. Keanu stepped forward, his voice gentle. "You've got her now. That's what matters." Mia's mother looked up at him, gratitude shining through her tears. "Thank you," she said softly. The woman in the suit was led aside by officers for further questioning. Her protests grew louder. "You're making a mistake. I was trying to help her." One officer remained calm. "If that's true, we'll confirm it. But your behavior doesn't align with your story." Keanu watched as the cracks in her facade widened. She fumbled for words, her confidence from earlier completely gone. I saw her alone and scared," she stammered. "I just wanted to keep her safe." "By claiming to be her guardian?" the officer asked, his tone skeptical. The woman's hands trembled, and she avoided eye contact. "You wouldn't understand," she muttered. Meanwhile, Mia clung to her mother, the fear in her eyes slowly giving way to relief. Keanu knelt beside them, his focus on the girl. "You're safe now," he said gently. "No one's going to hurt you." Mia's mother nodded, her voice trembling. "Thank you for helping her. I don't know what would have happened if you hadn't stepped in." Keanu gave a faint smile. Anyone would have done the same. But deep down, he knew not everyone would have noticed or cared enough to stop. As the officers continued their investigation, more details about the woman in the suit came to light. She had no connection to Mia or her family. Her story of being the child's guardian was completely fabricated. "She's not a stranger," the woman finally admitted, her voice low. "I've seen her before. I followed her and her mom from the park." The officers exchanged grim looks. "Why?" one asked. The woman hesitated before replying. "I thought I could provide better care." She seemed neglected. Keanu's stomach turned. Her explanation, while unsettling, didn't match her earlier behavior. This wasn't about care, it was about control. Meanwhile, Mia's mother continued comforting her daughter, whispering reassurances. The emotional toll of the ordeal was evident in her tear-streaked face. Keanu felt a deep sense of relief that he had trusted his instincts. Looking down at Mia, he saw her tight grip on the teddy bear begin to loosen, a sign of the fear finally ebbing away. "Thank you," Mia's mother said again, her voice firmer now. "You saved us both today." Keanu nodded, humbled by her gratitude. "I'm just glad she's safe." As the officers pieced together the events, the woman in the suit was taken into custody for further questioning. Her claims of wanting to help Mia quickly unraveled, revealing her intent to exploit the situation. Mia's mother, holding her daughter tightly, watched as the woman was led away. "Why would someone do this?" she asked, her voice filled with anguish. Keanu placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "Some people take advantage of vulnerable moments, but the important thing is, you're both safe now." The officers commended Keanu for stepping in. "If you hadn't noticed something was off, this could have gone much worse," one said, offering a firm handshake. Mia's small voice broke through the tense moment. "Thank you, Mr. Keanu," she said, her tears replaced by a shy smile. Keanu knelt beside her, his warm smile returning. "You're very brave, Mia. Always hold on to that." The crowd in the terminal, which had mostly ignored the earlier chaos, began to notice the unfolding scene. Whispers of Keanu's intervention rippled through the onlookers, many realizing the quiet impact of his actions. As Mia and her mother prepared to leave, Keanu knew this moment would stay with him forever. Keanu finally boarded his flight, settling into his seat with a deep breath. The hum of the engines and the steady rhythm of the plane felt like a stark contrast to the emotional whirlwind he had just experienced. Looking out the window, he reflected on the events of the day. It wasn't the first time he had witnessed vulnerability in the world, but this time was different. A small, scared girl had reminded him of the profound power of connection and kindness. He couldn't help but wonder, how often had he walked past someone in need without noticing? How many moments had been lost because it was easier to keep moving? The thought sparked a quiet resolve within him. Today had shown him that even the smallest acts of compassion could ripple outward, changing lives in ways he couldn't always foresee. As the plane ascended, Keanu made a promise to himself to never let the busyness of life overshadow the opportunities to help those in need. He leaned back, closing his eyes with a faint smile. Somewhere in the world, a little girl named Mia was safe, reunited with her mother. And though Keanu didn't seek recognition, he knew one simple truth: kindness always mattered. Share this story with someone who might need a reminder that even small actions can make a monumental difference. Every moment of compassion counts.